You're listening to 17 Carat K-Pop. For more information about the variety of topics covered on the show, as well as my other podcast, How to Stan, visit 17caratkpop.weebly.com. And if you enjoy this episode, please consider becoming a monthly donor to support my work and allow it to continue to go on and be free for all to access for as low as 99 cents a month. Visit the Support the Show link on my site's homepage for more information. Hello everybody, and welcome back to 17 Carat K-Pop. Today on the show, we are talking about lots and lots of NCT content, reflecting on the past 5 years with the group in a very belated 5-year anniversary celebration. So I'm going to count down the 27 most iconic NCT moments. But first, of course, we have to talk about the new NCT Dream album and how it fits into my larger theories about the music video universe, because you know I love going overboard theorizing. But first, let's talk about the commercial success of this release. Hot Sauce topped iTunes in 37 regions around the world. So that doesn't even count the charts it topped in South Korea. And the album surpassed 1.7 million pre-orders, 243% growth since their last comeback. I think part of the reason they finally reached million album seller status is thanks to the Mark effect, the fact that Mark got us all hyped up for this release. He finally returned to the subunit after 3 years. Mark is back and it feels so natural and exciting, and it's like he never left. So, takeaway 1 is that Mark is back. The other main message that was brought home through this comeback is that they have organically matured. It's not like they've flat out just abandoned entirely their Kids Bop-esque roots. They're still very youthful and wholesome and have bright and colorful videos, but it is just a bit more mature in a way that feels natural. They described it in a way where I think it is extra punny and just a reassuring way to tell fans, hey, we're still the same NCT Dream you know and love, talking about how they see themselves as not getting rid of their original flavor, but adding new flavors on top of it. So now we have a whole giant new recipe of sorts of new songs they've been cooking up. Their creative expression is always unexpected in good ways. We're going to have a whole episode dedicated to the musical inspirations of a lot of K-pop songs, including Afro beats, to just give them their due credit and talk about how they've impacted the music world at large on an episode dedicated to that topic. But until then, I'll just say I appreciate that they have tried something new, but I will definitely make sure to give credit to the genre itself. What I also really love about this release is that it's unexpected in its combination of it factors. So sometimes an album's, oh my gosh, chef's kiss moment is based on harmonies that are beautiful, or the most clap-along, dance-along ready parts of the songs, the call and response of it all. Others are more about a certain vibe. There's usually a certain thing you can pinpoint about a release that's like, this was the icing on the cake, nicely done. But with NCT's work always, no matter what the subunit, it feels like they mix those highlights all together. Because on this album, too, you have clapping and snapping moments and harmonies, high notes, dance breaks, times where the guitar gets to shine. It's such a variety pack. So objectively speaking, really well done, really shows growth and evolution, and highlights so many strong suits at once. More subjectively, as I've talked about on the show before, on my episodes Autism and Fandom and Autism and K-Pop in particular, I feel music in certain ways. It just goes through me and triggers a very strong reaction because of my sensory issues. Sinking feeling when I don't like a song, but when I love it, it is such a cool rush. And this is definitely one of those times, as it always is for this band. As I break down each song on the album track by track, I will bring attention to those specific sonic elements that have that positive effect on me as I go through. So if I say a song feels good, that's what I'm talking about. It's why I'm so appreciative of music to cope in this world with sensory issues like mine. Let's start by talking about Hot Sauce, the title track, and as I go track by track, I'm going to note mostly just general commentary about what I think about the songs, But also, in addition to my general commentary, I want to point out details how this new release fits into the NCT cinematic universe as we know it so far. The bridge in Hot Sauce, that instrumental feels so good. I really love it. The cartooniness of the Hot Sauce visuals, the fact that their eyes literally pop out of their head, and there are these other more 2D elements at play. Keep those in mind, as well as how in the video they have these rockets or shooting stars of some sort light up the sky. Diggity has all sorts of things that come together for the smorgasbord of sounds we've come to expect NCT to experiment with, and it keeps the energy going well from Hot Sauce. It's this dark basement place, and they're all gathered there watching themselves on TV without it registering that they're watching themselves. So they'll look on TV, for example, and think, hey, that looks like Mark we're watching on TV. And sure enough, there's someone who's identical to Mark doing something in the TV world. The NCT Dream members that are in the TV look like they're in the exact same gear and at the same location as NCT 127 in Chain and Limitless, which provokes a lot of questions for me. Are NCT 127 members watching the Diggity video on their own TV screen? Are the different subunits in parallel worlds that mirror each other in some ways? Are they intended to reflect each other or communicate somehow? Learn they are one and the same? What is going on? I don't know, but I thought that was noteworthy. Before you say I am just off my rocker here, keep in mind that Chunla said in the press conference, Diggity quote, marks our start to an adventure in an unknown world, unquote. So I'm not pulling the parallel universe theme out of thin air. That's actually this plot here. Last thing I want to note about this music video for Diggity, the music video for it has the text on the screen saying Dreamverse Chapter 3. So it's Chapter 3 in the Dreamverse, which is a trilogy so far. Maybe more videos to come. So there's Rainbow, Dive Into You, and then Diggity concludes the music video trilogy. But it actually is flipped in the album. So Diggity is the intro, you could say, for this trilogy of songs. Moving on, the energy is turned down just a bit for Dive Into You, a song that's very guitar-based, campfire ready, camping trip ready, summer ready, a feel-good song. And it focuses more on harmonies than instrumentals that get your attention and are our main focus. And it sounds really beautiful, as all their songs do when they harmonize so well together. This song is actually called Whale in Korean, which obviously made me think about Taeyeon SoundCloud songs. The key details from the music video that I would note: Mark gets off his shift, folds up his uniform, heads out, and offers this candle he got for free to Ji-sun, who's waiting outside for an unknown reason. He looks awkward standing there, waiting for who knows what outside of this place. So he takes the candle and seems fixated on it, so grateful for it. A red car pulls up with the other NCT Dream members in it, and Mark gets out of there. So just note the red car and Ji-sun with his candle. Next on the track list is My Youth. The instrumental to that one, interestingly, at first to me it sounds like the instrumental is coming from Psycho by Red Velvet, but it's an unexpectedly more contemplative, low-key track, kind of a break in this dance party vibe we've had so far on the album. Albeit sometimes more swaying than dancing like in Dive Into You, but still, dancing, swaying vibes, now turned down another notch. The energy is back up for Rocket, and the instrumental for that bridge is another one that I feel so good. It just feels great to hear. It's got also some really funky keyboard sounds. It's just a really fun, high-energy track. The lyrics compare their emotions that are about to burst as fireworks that are about to explode. Key lyrics I would note are not just references to rockets, but of references to a stage, like they're putting on an act, a theater production. They say the whole universe is a stage at the bottom of our feet. We go beyond the limits of gravity. They also notably say, meet me in a different dimension. The next song is Countdown. And it might be just me, but to me the instrumental sounds almost like they put the 90s Love instrumental backwards or in reverse a couple times. Like they distorted it on several levels, and that is the instrumental for Countdown. The key lyrics to note are, we might explode this confined dream. and the scenes that were in my dream will spread in front of my eyes. The next song is All Night Long, and I want to have a talk with whoever allowed them to abbreviate that to the letters A, N, and L. Who did this? What were they thinking? Irreplaceable is the next song. That is my favorite. It's got almost a gospel influence, I think. It's full of celebratory sounds. It's very uplifting. This song, again, references a movie. Like, this is the movie starring us. Let's get an Oscar for our relationship. They even say take 1, take 2, take 3. Next on the track list is a piano ballad, Be There For You, which really does have beautiful lyrics and a message about being a shoulder to cry on, being there for you, and being open to listening to you, being there for you no matter what. Last song is Rainbow. 4 members actually worked on the rap lyrics after the members were prompted just to reflect on how they described the group. And a rainbow was what they landed on as a symbol because they each add their own unique color to it. This song interests me for its lyrics, like a dream embroidered in the night sky of that hot day, the shining youth of you and me, do you think about me too sometimes? It's really contemplating on a relationship and comparing it to this dream, this positive memory that is forever with you when you do something as common as staring up at the sky. The lyrics continuously conflate memories of youth with memories of this romance, like they are one and the same. Your childhood was this relationship. Your sense of youth was this relationship. And not even necessarily a romantic relationship, but one that played a critical positive role in your life. Interestingly, this video is labeled Dreamverse Chapter 2. So it's smack dab in the middle of the saga, but it ends the album. And they do say that this song is alternatively titled Bookmark, that it's really a bookmark in time for their career, for reflecting on their relationships and friendship with each other, for their evolution, their growth. It seems to allude to the fact that they're just getting started still. They're just starting a new chapter, and there are many more chapters to come in their story. Jenna also said about this that, quote, the last time the 7 of us were together was with We Go Up, and I feel we've bookmarked ourselves in that moment, unquote. The final lyrics are, we're inside the same dream. A rainbow rises up more clearly. To me, this song is all about to open yourself up to others and let them in on your hopes and dreams, and don't wall yourself off from them. Then they can share your dream in a way, and they lessen the burden of carrying a dream and worrying if it succeeds if they're in this with you. And so by doing that, you open yourself up, not only have the gift of that relationship, but it can clear your path forward as you envision making your dreams. There are lots of super cute lyrics in this song that I want to spend time reciting and talking about. In the middle of a pause in time, there are 7 lights smiling in a circle. Over the lawn space that I left blank, you smile and wave at me. Dreaming again in the unfamiliar tomorrow. When I'm drowned in emotions, stuck between the 2 clouds, I think of the rainbow that resembles your smile. We run endlessly, and the light is reflected at the end of the road. One day my passing self became blurry, but when you looked at me, suddenly there was a new me. My favorite lyric, over the lawn space I left blank, you smile and wave at me. That one really conjures up an interesting image in my head, because I know here they're talking about, not literally, but just in terms of taking a break, needing some space to figure out and reassess your dream. But I also can visualize it as a physical space that you've left blank. This blank space in your life, and they're saying you're smiling and waving at the other end of it. Like they're waiting for you to cross a bridge or something. Someone is waiting for you to go on your journey, and they will be there cheering you on all the way until you reach them. This is a great note to end the album on because it does have that multitude of personalized potential meanings to it. And then it also ends, of course, with knowing that this is from the video titled Dreamverse 2, The Things I Cherish. So it ends with a message about what you should cherish. Now that we've gone through the new album, let's take a trip down memory lane and note some key details that are newly relevant. In Wee Yun, the boys are exploring different worlds. Entering different doorways into different worlds reminds me a bit of Monsters, Inc. And they also see themselves on TV, see a girl in the TV who jumps out of the TV. There's a blending of dimensions here, 2D and 3D and 4D. To say it breaks the fourth wall is not exactly the best way to put it, because it's even more than that going on. These are smashing all lines between different dimensions. This will sound totally random, but hear me out and I promise it will make sense later. Things to note from the We Go Up video are a blue car, fireworks, confetti, rockets, toy rockets, and real rockets, and an hourglass. In Go, there's a red car, and there are a lot of blurring of images where the members look like they're kind of glitching in and out of the scene. In Boom, there's also a red car. Ji-sun blows out a candle on a cake, and there's a lyric about, "My dream is now reality. I become your dream and a path to it, like a space to it." In Ride-In, there's both a black car and a toy red car. The lighter hits the ground and triggers a burst of flames. There's also another flame that appears before Ji-sun as he's just trying to read the paper, and there's an amusement park setting that is important to note. In Deja Vu, there's this party and a carnival setting. A flip of the switch causes the members to kind of glitch a little bit, and Mark reads a letter inviting the members to perform on the stage. The stage is set for them, come on down. So there are 3 types of continuity here tying it all together. Lyric continuity is the first thing we'll talk about. There are lyrics throughout NCT's Dreams discography up to and including the new album, about surrealities and dream worlds, dreams in different dimensions, alternate realities, lyrics about setting the stage, this being kind of a production of sorts, a movie set, and there are lots of lyrics about youth and growing up. Now if we talk about symbol continuity, we have these glitching and blurring of images, candles, lights, and flames, fireworks, which are back and of course described again on the song Rocket. There's a car that plays a key role here because it's a blue car and We Go Up. Everywhere else, it's a red car. And interestingly, in Riding, it's a red car that's tiny. It's like a toy car. So maybe another hint at multiple dimensions here, like we're talking about the little world inside the big world. There are also the themes of seeing your double. When it comes to the main takeaway messages from this space-time continuum warping, I think each NCT subunit has their own goal. With Wavy's story, it's more about figuring out what the sins are, the vices, and what to get rid of and leave in your past. With NCT 127, it's about how to step into your future and focus on your strengths, harness your individual power, and think about what you want to bring into your future. And with NCT Dream, their goal is not about what to leave in the past and take in the future as much as a combination of those things, how to take their inner child with them, how to preserve that openness to form new relationships, that fostering of positive relationships and creativity and imagination and innocence, how to bring all those qualities of youth with them into adulthood. And making that transition is what NCT Dream's story is all about. Even as they are no longer teenagers, that theme prevails. This is why they labeled Rainbow as the bookmark track, the track that indicates they are taking a second to pause and reflect on next steps. And that's why it's actually viewed as kind of the end of the album, but it's actually smack dab in the middle in a pause in the Dreamverse series of videos. This story is far from over. So I think the purpose of the stage and movie references has to do with deciding how much of yourself is just a performance. How much you're just putting on an act because you think you're supposed to act more mature now, you're supposed to grow up. How are you supposed to behave versus actually behave? The flame, I think, represents that burning passion you have when you are this less guarded, less jaded young person, and also how quickly that flame could die out if you don't tend to it. Which is interesting because Ji-sun is the youngest member, and the character in the videos who is fixated by candles and flames, almost like they're his birthday cake candle, as he contemplates what it means to grow up. So now that I've recapped the new NCT Dream album, and how it ties into the bigger NCT picture, let's talk about that list in a very belated celebration of 5 years with NCT, the 27 most iconic moments, the past 5 years with them. And if you disagree or have a different option, stay tuned for the honorable mention list at the end, because I have a lot of honorable mentions. Number 1, of course, has to be their debut and all their pre-debut activities. Just reflecting on their rookie years is really emotional. They were already so successful even before SM Entertainment was their main focus. Chunla was a famous singer. I'll never get over hearing his cover of You Raise Me Up as a little kid. Then 5 soon-to-be members of NCT actually were a part of Disney Channel Korea's 2015 remake of the Mickey Mouse Club, which in hindsight makes all the sense in the world. Thinking about now, we have Super M and Marvel collabing, that there would be that Mickey Mouse Club and Korea crossover. And of course, who could forget how magical Jaehyun's A Whole New World is to listen to. Also in 2015, remember Doyeon and Jaehyun became MCs for Show Champion. So there was so much going on for these members before 2016 when this all really officially happened for them. In April 2016, NCT U debuted with a double single. Then July 7th that year, NCT 127 debuted as a subunit, and August 24th, NCT Dream debuted that year. They also had a special debut stage on M Countdown the day after that. And then WayV debuted January of 2019. Number 2, Mark rejoining NCT Dream after just a few years' absence, but it felt like much longer. The group feels incomplete without him, partly because he just has great chemistry with the other members, but also because SM Entertainment loves putting him in almost every subunit you can think of, so of course he had to come back eventually. But very glad they decided not to go through with the graduation system, and that Mark would never be too old to dream. Number 3 has got to be Jungwoo joining NCT 127 as a subunit, because first of all, it was so cute to see them so excited, and Jungwoo was so excited to join them. And I love the timing of it, because then Jungwoo was able to promote that subunit's first full-length project. Number 4 has got to be WayV's debut. I know I already said the group subunit debuts were collectively number 1 on this list, but I also feel the need to give WayV on their own a second slot, because they added so many new layers to this NCT cinematic universe, and I just want to take another moment to appreciate that. They maybe even added new universes into the NCT music video universe. Gave me lots to theorize over and think about. Just added so many layers. Number 5, I would have to say, when Ten, Taeyeon, Lucas, and Mark all joined Super M. The boy band combining members from different SM Entertainment groups into one super group. It was almost like they were predicting the future, or seeing the vision, as Lucas would say, knowing, hey, we have to cram in a year's worth of promo, the tour in North America, first album, the band announcement, all wrapped up in the final quarter of 2019 before the live music industry shutters in 2020. It's like they saw the future. Next on my list is Taeyeon launching a SoundCloud. Not only has it been cool to watch him very quickly rise on the list of most followed SoundCloud accounts from Korea, but also as a member of the sub-fandom of NCTzens who are Taeyeon biased, it's been cool to see us turn into these unofficial PR agents. And as frustrating as it can be that he doesn't have a traditional giant promo rollout for his work, it's also really cool that it is very unscripted and unfiltered. So he's not pressured into giving us plain PR answers. He really opens up on live streams about each song he releases, and he can go into as much detail as he wants and connect with us on a deeper level. Number 7, when Ten released his solo track, New Heroes. Not only was that his special moment to shine, like Taeyeon has been able to through SoundCloud releases, but he also got to highlight that performance, that dancer in him. Aside from that solo stage, I just love the message of the song too. It ends with the text, and this is a lyric in the song as well. Turn my mess into messages, learn from the lessons, and keep on, keep on. Number 8, NCT 2018. When all the subunits made so far came together to release the full-length album Empathy. Empathy was a great compilation of what they can do, the diverse array of sounds, of genres, of combinations of members that they can give you, and then you can decide what type of NCT is right for you, and there's something on that album for you. Whether it's the bubblegum pop touch, or it's something more mature like Baby Don't Stop, or it's the timeless ballad that is Timeless. That album was such a great variety and really showed who NCT was to the world, as did the Black on Black choreography video, which had really cool dance moves you can't make look cool unless you have enough members to do it, which they did, and the synchronization is just so top notch. That's truly one of my favorite choreography videos ever. Side note, this release also includes the fan favorite, The Seventh Sense, which not only eventually passed 100 million views, but also the songwriters actually had this song rejected a couple of times, and they thought it would never see the light of day because it so defies categorization as a song. Never give up on a song that you believe in is the lesson here. The Seventh Sense is a great release. Number 9, of course, has got to be NCT 2020, which took the NCT 2018 concept and then just made it better because we had Wavy as a subunit now, as well as 2 brand new members, bringing the total to 23 members so far. Not only was this release another diverse mix of their sounds and vibes, but it also included release after release of singles promoted one after the other, Make-A-Wish and 90s Love and From Home. Even songs like Misfit had their own mini music videos, even though they weren't directly promoted as singles as much. So lots of visuals to go alongside a variety of songs. They just kept us very entertained in a year that was really tough. It was a very cool full circle moment when all the subunits came together to perform a mashup of the songs off this album for the song Resonance, as well as a performance at the 2020 Mamas at the end of the year. The commercial success for this band was also taken to new heights, making NCT the artist in SM Entertainment's history to sell the most album copies. Also, Make-A-Wish became NCT U's first win on Show Champion, and on any music program actually. It also surpassed Kick It to become NCT's most viewed video within the first 24 hours, and this album topped iTunes in 32 countries. So across the board, showed their commercial success as well as their creative growth. We are now entering the part of the list where I talk about their truly most iconic comebacks. And number 10 on this list is the regular era, because that seemed to open a lot of doors for them promo-wise in North America. Regular is what they promoted on the radio in the US. It was promoted on Jimmy Kimmel Live. They performed it at the Jingle Ball. They performed it with Mickey Mouse when they were dancing with Mickey. That was an iconic moment during the 90th anniversary special. Plus, again, the Disney roots, it felt like a full circle moment because of that. And the video added to my tinfoil hat wearing theory brain about the NCT cinematic universe. I broke that down in an NCT Talk episode. I thought there was a lot of meaning in it that is more than meets the eye. The repackage of this album was also, it really added to my super involved music video theories. And also, fun fact, Simon Says was actually the first NCT 127 track to ever enter New Zealand's Hot 40 singles chart. Number 11, NCT 127's Kick It comeback, as well as the repackaged Punch. That Neozone album is special for a lot of reasons. One being that it marked Jungwoo's return after a hiatus. Another being that several members co-wrote a lot of the tracks on Neozone. Plus, this added to their commercial success. They won on the music core for Punch. Kick It was their fastest at the time to reach 100 million views. The album debuted in the top 5 of the Billboard 200. So it was just really successful for them, and it came at the perfect time. Early 2020, lockdowns and quarantine life were just starting, and it was the perfect pick-me-up. The music videos for the B-sides were extra special because they included a Dreams Come True video that came as a surprise early release in January of 2020. Then there's the ability to theorize not just over NCT, but the SM Entertainment world at large. You got Johnny with his pizza box in the elevator video. Definitely brings to mind the pizza boy from the Red Velvet faux horror film they had for Peekaboo. Lots of ways you could just go off the rails, like I tend to do, theorizing about that kind of connection. Plus, Kick It really kicked off the debut of the I Scream remix EP series that SM Entertainment started. Number 12, We Go Up. That NCT Dream release was a moment that NCT Dream, through their latest comeback, just told us, remember, bookmark that period of time in your head. for the story's sake and just because we did too. That's where we felt like we kind of pressed pause, knowing someday Mark would return to this subunit. Number 13, if you've listened to my NCT Talk episodes before, you know that it all starts with Fire Truck. That's where the whole storyline starts, where all your theories can get kicked off. That's the starting point for being a fan as well as theorizing over their universe. And the quirky aesthetics and concept of that video influence SM artists to this day. I mean, we just saw SHINee's Don't Call Me come back with the concept photos that look just like they were filmed at the same house in the same picket fence yard as Fire Truck. Number 14, Limitless. Not only was this a fan favorite track, but it led to the first time NCT topped the Billboard World Albums chart. Plus, it was the comeback when Johnny and Doyeon finally joined the group. Cherry Bomb. The defining era for their irreplicable quirkiness, from the wardrobe to the animated meets physical world, dimension-blending music video, to their iconic splits dance move, perfectly on brand, no one else could do it like them. And I'm just gonna say it, NCT could do I Want It That Way, Backstreet Boys could not do Cherry Bomb. Superhuman, that's the song they performed on Good Morning America. They also performed it on James Corden's show. It was a big one for them. And it really just brought home for me the reason why you can say they are such a delightful and empowering presence in fans' lives. They just make our days brighter, and Superhuman is a key song to understand that through. The last comeback I included on this list, Gimme Gimme. Hear me out on this, because I know it's an unpopular opinion to think that's one of their most iconic, but it was certified gold in Japan. It became the fastest NCT video to reach 1 million views, 119 minutes, which feels extra funny and symbolic given the fact that 119 119 is the name of an NCT Dream song. Plus, it has a favorite B-side of mine right now on there, which is classic NCT in the sense that it should be a boring ballad, but it's anything but. They keep it cute and sentimental, but not in a corny way, and it's just the instrumentals and lyric combinations are unexpected for a ballad, but it still sounds like a ballad. It mixes quirkiness with emotionalness in classic NCT form. Top of their game release. Number 18, their KCON debut in Mexico City. Also that same year, 2017, they performed at KCON LA and New York too. Number 19 and 20 are their tours, NCT Dreams, International Tour The Dream Show, and then NCT 127's World Tour, Neo City The Origin from 2019, which made $7.7 million. Number 21, when they became the first K-pop act to ever perform at the European Music Awards. They performed there in Spain in 2019. Then they made history again with their Macy's Parade performance in 2018, becoming the first K-pop act to be a part of that. Then that was followed by their Today Show performance the next day. That was a really exciting month for NCTzens, especially in North America. Number 23, NCT Dream became FIFA World Cup ambassadors in 2017. The games were held in South Korea that year, and then in March of that year they released the song Trigger the Fever to go with their ambassadorship. NCT Dream also became ambassadors for the World Scout Foundation in July 2019. They released a song called Fireflies to go with that ambassadorship, which they performed at the World Scout Jamboree in West Virginia that July. And the song proceeds went to fund Scout activities in low-income countries. Number 25, NCT 127, signing with Capitol Music. That was just, period, a huge moment for them. Number 26, NCT 127 on The Daily Show's remotely educational special. I know it was a super short cameo, and I know a lot of people probably already forgot that happened, but for me personally, my TV and music faves merged, and I never thought they would. Worlds were colliding. I was so excited. Fangirling to the max. I don't care that I'm standing alone in the middle of the Venn diagram. Daily Show fans and NCTzens, I'm gonna proudly stand in the middle of that Venn diagram alone. And number 27, the SM Town concert this year, because they ended singing a song called Hope. I'm touched. It was like a tribute to me to start off the new year. Time for some of the many honorable mentions I could have picked. Most iconic moments. the past 5 years for NCT and N-citizens alike. All of their YouTube content deserves an honorable mention shout-out, from the Late Show spoof to the Mark Awards to NCT World 2.0, iconic covers like Jaehyun's cover of I Like Me Better by Lauv, and oh my gosh, Doyeon's cover of Breathin' by Ariana Grande I still listen to all the time. So stellar, but they really have been spoiling us these past 5 years. There are so many sweet moments that could be considered one of their most iconic. Taeyeon buying Jungwoo those expensive shoes and insisting on it. Taeyeon driving 4 hours to visit Doyeon on set of a drama. Taeyeon doing things that could go on and on for hours about. But they all really do look out for each other, and it's a brotherhood that's really sweet to see. They also, I love when they do the absolute most, to take good pictures of each other from just the right angles. Then there are starstruck moments, seeing Chunla living out his Steph Curry fanboy dreams. Her Idol School Athletic Championship participation is always so memeable, so they act like they really don't want to be there more than a lot of the other groups, but they also participate even when they don't have to, like NCT Dream. They participated in 2020's esports version of the games. During a pandemic year, they still participated. When NCT was named the first K-pop act to be Apple Music's New Artist of the Week, that started in 2017. Then they became Apple Music's Up Next artist, and again were the first K-pop act to become that in October of 2018. Gotta love Halloween 2019, when we had it, Tony the Tiger, Taeyeon as an anime character, Thor, Romeo and Juliet. I mean, that year really raised the bar for SM Entertainment Halloween party costumes. Lastly, Taeyeon's V-Lives, which gives me the perfect opportunity to share with you my favorite Taeyeon quotes from V-Lives over the years, and some not necessarily from V-Lives, his words of wisdom in his giant catalog of those. Even if everything you do is tough, if you give it your best, the day will come where many people will acknowledge all you do. Let's think about how we're gaining experience and knowledge instead of thinking of it as work or study. One more for now, although there are many more I could share. There are people who have a hard time running back. There are people who have to give up because they have a hard time going there, and others can't find a way back. But I think all of this falls under the path called youth within the larger framework of life. And I think right now I, and everyone, is there too. So let's all rely on, comfort, and support each other in times of hardship, and turn over our youth into one that is more worthwhile. He has messages of getting through hard times through togetherness a lot in what he says. That wraps up today's episode of NCT Talk. Next week on the show, a guide to N-Hyphen and their music video universe, plus tons of K-pop headlines and lots more to talk about. Thank you all for listening as always. I will talk to you all again very, very soon.